Hello, this is Kate from Daily Tarot Girl, and this is your weekly tarot card reading. And for this week's reading, I am using the This Might Hurt Tarot by Isabella Rotman. All right, so I'm going to start with 3 cards. My intention with this week's reading, as always, is to get an overview of the week ahead, some of the opportunities, some of the energies that will be coming up for us. And I want to let you know that I'm offering private readings right now for the month of January. So if you want your New Year's, your 2025 New Year's tarot reading with me, I'm going to put the link below on where you can get a reading with me. I am very slow. I'm a slow reader, so I have a little bit of a wait list. So if you order a reading now, it might be a 2 to 3 week, possibly even a 4-week wait, so it's a little bit of a wait, but I promise it will be worth the wait. I'll put the link below if you want to get more info. Okay, so first card for the beginning of the week, so this is for Monday, Tuesday-ish, we have the Magician. Now the Magician is number 1 in the major arcana, and I always like it when we begin the week with either an ace or, like, you know, here we have the Magician who's number 1. And the Magician, he's very motivated, and he's very, he has a lot of clarity and focus. He knows what's important to him. He knows what he's trying to do. He knows how to get it done. And he has this ability to direct his focus, his energy, his willpower, his actions, his thoughts, his feelings towards whatever it is that he's trying to create and to do. The Magician is a master creator. He's very good at creating things, manifesting things. His gift is being able to take something that is not physical, so an idea or a concept or some kind of inspiration, and then making it real, making it manifest in the physical world. And you can see with his one arm up, one hand down, like he's got the one arm up, he's kind of connecting to the invisible realms of ideas and energy, and the hand down that's pointing to the earth is the hand, that's the hand that takes action, that does things, that builds things, that makes things happen. So what does this card mean for us for the beginning of the week? The beginning of the week is a really good time to get clear on what your goals are, or get clear what's important to you, on what you're trying to do, what you're trying to create. You may find you have a little more motivation at the beginning of the week, and so it's easier for you to, you know, make to-do lists or write down your goals or get organized. I'm getting kind of a feeling of organization with this card. So beginning of the week is a good time to capitalize on that extra little burst of motivation and clarity and make a plan for your week. Okay, let's have a look at the middle of the week. So this is for kind of Wednesday, Thursday-ish, and here we have 7 of Wands. Now, 7 of Wands, this is interesting. So the person on this card, she's ready for battle, and she looks like she's a little stressed, like she's feeling like, oh God, she has all these sharp wands pointed at her, and she looks a little stressed. She's ready for battle, yet notice that her bow is ready, but it's not raised. And so there's something with the 7 of Wands to me that feels like this is about being assertive and standing up for yourself, or maybe even someone else this week, but being able to be assertive and stand your ground without being super aggressive. So what I get with the 7 of Wands, how this might manifest for some of us this week, you might feel like you're kind of under a bit of pressure in the middle of the week. You may feel like you kind of have to prove yourself, even if you're only proving yourself to yourself. That sometimes happens, but you may feel like you have to kind of prove yourself. And one challenge you may face is that you have to kind of figure out what is worth fighting for, what is worth, digging your heels in, being stubborn? What is worth doing that? And when is it appropriate to let something go? Because you don't want to be, you want to pick your battles. You don't have to fight tooth and nail for every little thing, but you have to know when to pick your battles. When do you fight for something? When do you refocus your efforts elsewhere? Okay, so definitely assertiveness. It's going to be important to be assertive midweek. Actually, both the Magician and Seven of Wands are assertive cards, and they're both confident cards, although the Seven of Wands, so sometimes when you're under pressure, even if you're comfortable being assertive, it can sometimes be a little bit harrowing. But I do see both of these cards as representing being confident and very much like, I'm kind of thinking of the chakra system, and I'm thinking these cards are very much like first chakra, second chakra stuff. So stuff to do with like survival, creating physical things, thriving in the physical world. Both of these cards have a lot of red on them too, which kind of corresponds with the first couple of chakras. Let's have a look at the end of the week. So we have the Tower for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so the weekend. And the Tower is another major arcana card. And the Tower has kind of a different energy. So the Tower, what's interesting, and I'll say more about the Tower in a sec, but do you notice how the Magician is pointing his hand down? It's almost like he's creating this lightning bolt in this other card. It's almost like things you do at the beginning of the week are going to manifest towards the end of the week. And he's holding this candle flame, and then that gets to be this bigger flame in this card, which I think is kind of interesting. In fact, the candle itself kind of looks a little bit like the Tower. Okay, so the Tower. The Tower is a card of chaos. It's a card of like the unexpected happening. And sometimes we can get a little bit complacent and comfortable, and we take certain things for granted, and we think that certain things are always going to be there and things are always going to be this way. And then something unexpected comes in, it shakes things up, it changes up the order of things. And this can be stressful. It can be traumatizing, but oftentimes it's also freeing. And so it's both, the Tower, it can be both good and bad. And yeah, so it's that, it's kind of, the Tower is very ungrounding though. It's a very ungrounding energy. So there's a couple different ways we could read this. It could be that something kind of happens on the weekend that kind of shakes things up and kind of messes up the order of things, something a little bit unexpected. The other interpretation, which is the one I kind of like more, is that the weekend is a good time to shake things up. So that the energy of the Tower can happen to you, or you can create it. So sometimes something happens outside of your control that kind of shakes things up, or other times you kind of create your own shakeup. You destroy certain things or scrap certain things to start fresh. So that chaotic disorder, that shaking up of things, can happen from the outside, or it can happen within you. So I feel like there's something else I want to say about the Tower. The two people falling, you could see it two different ways. You could see these two people as being cast out of this Tower against their will, being violently tossed into the waves below. Or you could see them being freed from the Tower. Maybe they're prisoners in this Tower, and this blast of lightning is freeing them finally. So there's two ways of seeing the Tower. Okay, let's look at all of the cards together. One question I have for you, kind of like a journaling kind of question, or a question to ponder with the Tower, is what areas of your life do you want to shake up? What aspects of yourself or your life do you feel kind of constricted by or limited by, and you want to kind of bust out? Okay, so let's look at all of the cards together. Really an exciting week, and I feel like it starts with feeling very in control. And so remember when I was talking about the Magician, I was like, you really want to capitalize on this time where you're kind of clear, you're focused, you're motivated, because by the end of the week, it starts with like being in control of your own destiny, and then whatever actions and things happen during the week may result in something a little unexpected. That's one way to read these cards. But I think that it's an interesting mix of cards where it's like a combination of being in control of things and taking action, standing your ground, being assertive, stepping into your power, but then also things happening outside of your control as well. And kind of balancing out those two things, or what's another word for that? Integrating those two things, that feeling of being powerful, being in charge, being assertive, but also dealing with stuff that happens that you maybe weren't expecting. I feel like there's something else that I'm not seeing here, so I'm just going to take a closer look. See if there's anything else. There's a lot of fire in these cards. Like we see the candle, we see the lightning bolt and the blast on the tower, and then the background of the Seven of Wands is kind of fiery as well. And Wands, of course, is the suit that corresponds with this element of fire. So it does feel like there's a lot of fiery energy with these cards. Let's see, I still feel like there's something I'm like missing, something that ties all these cards together. So I'll turn it over to you. Like, what do you get from this combination of cards? When you look at all of these cards together, does it feel like one card is louder than the rest? Does one card kind of step forward and want to talk with you and give you a strong message? When you look at the cards together and kind of blend all the energies of these three cards together, what do you come up with? Like, I like to think of a reading as being like a recipe, and each card is like an ingredient. So, each ingredient has a certain flavor. The Magician has a certain flavor. Seven of Wands has a certain flavor. It's like these cards are like spices and herbs, and together they make something. So when you think about blending these, what comes out? Blending the independence and the power of the Magician with the assertiveness of the Seven of Wands, with the kind of chaos energy of the Tower. It's interesting. Yeah. Okay, so if I could sum this week up, I would say, if I'm going to sum it up in like 3 words, for the Magician, I would say focus. Beginning of the week is about focus. Middle of the week is about assertiveness. End of the week is about the chaos, dealing with the chaos. But I think that if you're like the first 2 cards, if you're able to focus your will and focus your attention, and you're able to reach down and connect with that assertive part of yourself, then I think navigating this will be easier. And the funny thing about the Tower, it doesn't necessarily mean anything's going to happen. Like, I think people get freaked out when they see the Tower and they think, oh God, something bad's going to happen this weekend, something really terrible, something really shocking. But oftentimes that isn't the case. Like, the Tower can represent, like I said, kind of internal shifts. You might have this aha moment. And I also think that the Tower is a phallic symbol. So it is a phallic symbol, and this explosion is like a release of energy, like an orgasm, right? Like a release of energy, like energy has built up, the tension has built up and cannot be contained by the tower and it goes and it like explodes. So there's something about that, like letting off steam, letting off pressure. And it actually, now I understand what these cards are saying. Remember when I was like, earlier I was like, I feel like there's something I'm supposed to get from these cards and I'm not sure what it is. Okay, it's just clicked into place and I see it now. I see each card is like a building of energy. The Magician is powerful, and he's all about building energy and directing it into something. Seven of Wands is also about energy, but I feel like there's a bit of discomfort with the Seven of Wands, whereas the Magician to me feels good. He's colorful, he's confident, things are bright in this card, and he knows where to direct his energy and how to do it. But then when we get to the Seven of Wands, it's like the energy has built up. She's ready for a fight, but it's uncomfortable. You can see it on her face. She's like not entirely comfortable. And also like the colors are a little murkier here. It's almost like there's a haze. It's a little hazy. And then we get to the tower and boom, there's this release of energy. So you may experience this week as a building of energies to be released at the end of the week. In there's different ways you can release energy, right? Maybe you get angry, maybe you cry, or maybe, you have an orgasm. I don't know. There's different ways of releasing energy. So interesting week. I'm looking forward to seeing how it all shakes out. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching. My name is Kate. I'm also known as the Daily Tarot Girl. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps my channel a lot. So if you enjoyed this reading, give me a like, leave me a comment, and check out my website, dailytarotgirl.com. I'm going to put the link below if you want to check it out. There's tons of really fun tarot learning resources on there for you to look into. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful week.